This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning everyone. We continue Mishna Berura. Yomi, we're up to Siman Taf Peites. In Sif Daled, the Ramah said, "Uchshegia Azman." Once the time for Sfira comes, Asrum Lechal Ad Sheyisper. You're not to eat until you count. Va'afilu Hischel Lechal. Even if you began to eat Poisek v'Soifer, you stop and you count. Miu, however, Im Hischel Lechal Kodim Shegia Azman. If you began to eat before the Zman came, Eno Tzarch Lahafsik. You don't need to interrupt. Ela Goymer Achilasai. You finish your eating v'Soifer Achikach, and you count afterwards. Says the Mishna Berura Lechal V'Adin Shar Malachos. The same din would apply to other malachos. This goes according to the opinion of Sfira B'Zman Hazeh D'Oraisa, that Sfira is Mid'Oraisa. But to us, the Naktina Sfira B'Zman Hazeh D'Rabbanan, that we conclude, we neman, that Sfira today is only D'Rabbanan. Einoi poisek, you don't interrupt. There are those achrim that write, the reason why regarding this Ramaz Machmer, like the opinion that's because it's something which is not really a lot of bother just to interrupt and to count. According to what we wrote earlier, that from a half hour near the Zman, the Isser starts, then the din of the Ramah would be when you began to eat more than 30 minutes before the Zman. Even according to the opinion Sfira B'Zman Hazeh D'Oraisa, that Sfira B'Zman Hazeh D'Oraisa, given sheyesh oid shas lispar, since there is still time to count, meaning if you started to eat before the Zman, you don't have to stop. Says the Mechaber, if you don't know the cheshbon, if you don't know what that night it is, and you started counting, having in mind, you're going to finish whatever you hear from your friend. V'shasak ad sheshama mechaberoi, and you were silent until you heard from your friend. V'siyim kamayu, and you concluded like him. Yatsa says Mishna Berura pasach hasabracha. V'siyim kamayu yatsa ritzon leimer af bebracha, meaning even in the bracha. The adaita dahachi pasach habracha, because he began the bracha with this das. V'siyim, and he concluded correctly. V'ikasiyim upsichum mikamakam lecharchila in lo levarech. However, you should not make a bracha until you know to begin with what day it is. The asr lahafsik afilu b'shtika, you cannot interrupt even with silence between the blessing and the mitzvah. Yosem ichdei dibar. Sivav in Pasach v'yamar, if you began and you said Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam adaita d'leima hayom arba, with the das to say today is the fourth day, shu savar shu arba, v'nizkar v'siyem b'chamisha, and then you remember, no, it's the wrong day, it's the fifth day, and you said the fifth day, v'hem chamisha, and it is the fifth day, ibcha shem arba, it's the fourth, and upasach adaita d'leima arba. So again, in this case is, you were going to say hayom arba, you thought it was the fourth, and you remembered and you finished the fifth, and it is the fifth. Or the opposite. It is the fourth. And he began with the das to say the fourth, and he made a mistake and he said the fifth. You don't have to go back. So what does this mean? V'siyim b'chamish v'tzamlam shasir b'chamish yom v'ta v'siyim v'tzamlam shasir b'chamisha. You don't have to go back. So now the Achronim are matzvi on this halacha. Achronim tamad and said the Bishlam Abreisha. Bishlam in the first case, Shasiyim Chamisha, you completed the fifth day. You concluded with the fifth day. V'hu Chamisha, and in fact, it is the fifth day. Nicha, it's good. Diyatzah Shari Sipar. Then you said the right number. Afagad Shas Berachasai. Even though at the time of your bracha, Savar Shuarba, you thought it was the fourth. Lav Klumhu, it's nothing. Shari Af B'loy Berech Klal Yatza. Because even if you did not make a bracha at all your yotzei. Aval b'seifa, but in the seifa, ma'i mahani lan, how does it help? Shabashas bracha yada is a yomhu. Of what benefit is it that at the time of the bracha you knew what day it was? Halei al kapanim b'fiv sipar yom she'enoi. At the end of the day you counted the wrong day. V'skimoi debezat tzarch lisvar mechadash. The achreinim are masking that in this case you have to count again, ulevarich, and make another bracha. The brachasai rishayna is levatol. Your first bracha was the bracha levatol. Kiven shasiyam achra yom acher. Since you concluded the wrong day, am loish and nizgar toich kedei dibor l'sfirasa. Unless you remembered within the kedei dibor of your counting, sha'az tzarch lisba sha'az chayzer v'sofer kadin. Because then you could again count properly. And the bracha works. V'da'oid. You should know further. Da'af de b'shulchan aruch ma'risha be'es ha'bracha hayodea yom ha'svira. Even though in the Shulchan Aruch we're talking about that at the time of the bracha, you know which day of svira it is. Uveirech adas lispar kohagen. And you made a bracha with the intent to count properly. Ela she'acher kachta. Just afterwards you made a mistake. V'siyam shaloi kohagen. That's the case of the Shulchan Aruch. Many achronim hold that even if at the time of the bracha you had in mind a different day, and you counted with a mistake. In other words, in the Seifa, most achronim say that in the case the person had the right thing in mind. He just counted the wrong day. Okay, so you could correct it. But the truth is, many achronim say that even if you had in mind the wrong day at the time of the bracha, and you counted the wrong day, and then you corrected it at kadei dibor, that also works. Oid kasvadim ta, the amar, the achronim write further, if you made a mistake and you said, hayom yom arba ba'omer. Today is the fourth day of the omer, v'toich kadei dibor, nizkar shu yom chamishen, toich kadei dibor, remember it's the fifth. It's enough just to conclude it's the fifth of the Yomi. Even though you didn't say Hayom, since it's still within Kedei Dibor of the original statement of Hayom, and you could rely on that statement of Hayom. Mechaber says in Sif Zayin, if you've forgotten and you didn't make a bracha the whole night, Yisbar B'Yoim, B'lai bracha. You could count during the day without a bracha. It says in Mishna Berura, Yisbar B'Yoim Kedas Harbi Poiskim, like the opinion of many Poiskim. The B'diavad Sfiras Yoim Oilo L'Sfira, the B'diavad counting during the day counts, and it works. That's the opinion of the Bahag. And the Mashmois of the Rambam in Hilchos Tmidim Musafim, who says Niktzar B'Yoim Kosher, as the Sfira is dependent on the Ktsira. Even though you could say like Tosus and Megillah says the Shar Tzion, that even if Ktsira B'Yom is kosher, for Sfira you need Tamimos, but nevertheless, you could be Samech on the Bahag. B'loi bracha, you could count during there without bracha, the Yesh Lachash, the Das HaPoiskim, because you do have to be concerned for those places, the Ein Zman Sfira B'Layla, that the counting is only during the night. When you make a bracha during the day, it's a bracha latala miu. However, mikan alaba, from here on, soifer b'chalayla b'bracha, you could continue counting with a bracha. V'loy have a kedilei yom echad lagamri. It's not like skipping one day completely. She'enoi soifer oid b'bracha, that you no longer count with a bracha. Ukila kameh, says the Sharat Tzion. And the reason is like the Chumash Hadash, and it's a svek sveika. First of all, b'diavad sfira is even during the day, and even if you want to say sfira is only during the night, but many poskim hold that if you miss a night, you could continue counting with the bracha. So therefore, since we have two possibilities, maybe counting during the day is good, and even if it's not, there are many poskim who hold if you miss a night, it's also, you could continue counting with a bracha. Okay, so because of this svek, if you count during the day, you could continue counting with a bracha. But as it's Hashem, we'll pick it up next time in Sif Ches.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.